Mr. Green.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that all members have 5 legislative days in which to revise and extend their remarks and to include extraneous material on H.Res. 1376.
Without objection. Without objection.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield myself such time as I may consume.
Gentleman's recognized.
On March 24th, 2021, President Joe Biden announced to the American people that he tasked Vice President Kamala Harris to, quote, lead our efforts, end quote, to address the, quote, root causes, end quote, of the border by working with Mexico and Central America to stem the flow of illegal border crossings at the southwest border. However, since President Biden and Vice President Harris took office, CBP has recorded more than 9.6 million encounters nationwide, and this number continues to rapidly increase. Over 200,000 Americans have died from the fentanyl flooding across our open border. Precious lives, like those of Laken Riley, Rachel Morin, Jocelyn Ngunre, have been brutally taken by illegal aliens who have been released. We've been told that Vice President Harris's job was to find the root causes of the crisis. Turns out, to do so, she could have just looked in the mirror. Now, it would be charitable to say that Vice President Harris is completely out of her depth when it comes to securing the border. The fact is, she has a long track record of opposing border security and immigration enforcement. Whether as a senator, a presidential candidate, or as Joe Biden's quote-unquote border czar. For example, then Senator Harris advocated abolishing immigration and customs enforcement. She proudly boasted that she'd introduced legislation to reduce the number of ICE detention beds, and she also advocated for doing away with private detention facilities. She called construction of the new border wall system a stupid use of money. She opposed the use of Title 42 during the COVID-19 pandemic, and she even once compared ICE to the KKK. In her short-lived campaign for president in 2019, Vice President Harris declared during one debate that she supported decriminalizing illegal border crossings. According to her campaign website, long-standing bipartisan border security policies were cruel and out of control. As vice president, her track record has been just as dismal. Let's first recognize that many of the very policies she supported as a senator, including cutting ICE beds, ending border wall construction, and ending Title 42, became reality after she took office. Further, despite being President Biden's border czar, after saying border visits were just grand gestures, she's only made one trip to the southwest border, all the way back in June of 2021, in what Texas Democrat Representative Henry Cuellar called a politically safe, check-the-box visit. She has not been back since. And just this week, it was reported that she has never spoken with current Border Patrol Chief Jason Owens or his predecessor, Chief Raul Ortiz. This belies absolute dereliction of her responsibility to secure the border. This longtime extremist has run point on ending the Biden administration's self-inflicted border crisis, and it shows. Vice President Harris has also lied to the American people repeatedly about the crisis she helped create. In June of 2022, she falsely claimed on national television the border is secure. We have a secure border, and that is a priority for any nation, including ours and our administration. She also helped spread the vicious lies about mounted Border Patrol agents in Del Rio, Texas, slandering and maligning them for just doing their jobs. Now, given how bad the border is for them politically, our friends on the left are suddenly aghast that we are again referring to the vice president as the border czar. However, back in March 2021, even the corporate media were describing her role with this title, which, as we all remember from the Obama years, simply means a government official tasked with the responsibility for a particular policy issue. Now the Vice President Harris is the presumptive Democrat nominee for president. We've watched our colleagues on the other side of the aisle get defensive about it because they know they cannot possibly defend her disastrous handling of the border crisis she was supposed to end. Vice President Harris is an extreme, dishonest, open border radical. That's why President Biden entrusted her with this role. She owns all of his failed border policies and the horrific consequences that have resulted from them. Americans know it, and I'm glad that this Congress will acknowledge it too. I reserve the balance of my time.